The Philippines, it's a nation that's defined by way more than just its incredible islands. It's really defined by this amazing tapestry of languages. So today, we're going to dive into this complex and fascinating linguistic world to understand what makes it so unique and also what makes it so fragile. Okay, so to really wrap your head around the languages, you first have to get a sense of the geography. We're talking about a nation of over 7,600 islands. I mean, that sheer number just scattered across the sea, it sets the perfect stage for this story of incredible diversity. And get this, scattered across that massive archipelago are an astounding 183 living languages. This isn't just a country with a couple of different dialects, it is literally one of the most linguistically diverse places on the entire planet. But here's the thing, there's a real tension at the heart of this story. All of that amazing vibrancy is matched by deep, deep vulnerability. With 28 languages already endangered and 4 now extinct, you can feel that the cultural clock is ticking. So you might be wondering, how does a nation with that many languages even communicate on a daily basis? Well, it all comes down to 2 official tongues that kind of act as the country's common ground. On one hand, you've got Filipino, which is the national language and it's based on Tagalog. And on the other hand, you have English. It's a legacy of history for sure, but it's still dominant in government, business, and education, connecting the Philippines to the rest of the world. But if you look beyond those 2, that's where you find the regional giants. These are the languages that millions of people speak every single day, and they really dominate entire island groups. Let's do a quick tour, shall we? Let's start way up north on the massive island of Luzon. This is where you'll find Ilocano, and it's a linguistic powerhouse. We're talking about the first language for almost 10 million people up in the Ilocos and Cordillera regions. Now, let's head down to the central island group, the Visayas. This is the heartland of Cebuano, which many people just call Bisaya. And here's something that might surprise you. More Filipinos actually speak Cebuano as their mother tongue than Tagalog. It just goes to show you how deep those regional identities run, even with a national language based on Tagalog. And Cebuano's influence, it doesn't stop there. It extends all the way south to Mindanao. Now, Mindanao has its own incredibly rich collection of indigenous languages, but Cebuano is a major player there too, spoken all across the island's northern and eastern areas. And this chart just brilliantly illustrates the scale we're talking about. Look at that, Cebuano is way out in front with about 20 million speakers. Ilocano is next with around 10 million, and then Hiligaynon, another Visayan language, is right on its heels with 9 million. So you see, these aren't just small dialects, these are massive language communities. But numbers can only tell you so much, right? To really get to the soul of this linguistic archipelago, we need to dig into the unique stories behind some of these individual languages. Okay, so take Chavacano, for example. This is what's known as a Creole language, which means it was born from a mix of Spanish and local indigenous languages. What's so incredible about it is that it's the only Spanish-based Creole in all of Asia. It's like a living, breathing linguistic fossil from a long-gone colonial era. And then there's the Tagbanwa language over in Palawan. What is just so remarkable here is that the Tagbanwa people haven't just preserved their spoken language, they've also kept their ancient pre-colonial writing system alive, a direct, unbroken link to the island's history before any foreign contact. And for some cultures, language it's the very soul of their art. The Maranao language, for instance, is the vessel that carries the epic chant of the Durangan. And the Tboli language is woven into every single thread of the sacred Tenalot cloth. I mean, both of these traditions are considered so important that they're recognized by UNESCO as masterpieces of human heritage. Which brings us right back to where we started, to the fragility of this incredible heritage. Because the future of all this diversity is, well, it's far from guaranteed. This chart just puts it all into stark perspective. Sure, the majority of languages are still considered vibrant, which is great. But those other slices, the 28 endangered languages, the 4 already extinct, they represent a significant and permanent loss of our shared heritage. And it's so important to understand what's really at stake here. This isn't just about losing words from a dictionary. When a language disappears, an entire worldview, a unique way of seeing the world, it vanishes right along with it. It's like a whole library of stories and histories and knowledge just gone. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this question. It's something to think about not just for the Philippines, but for our whole planet. When a language finally falls silent, what part of our collective human story do we lose forever?